Hi everyone, I'm Xiao Wang. Today, we use the Unreal Engine 5.6 to make a simple animated short. In this tutorial, we will learn the following knowledge. The assets used in this tutorial are all from the Fab Store, most of which are free assets. Ultra Dynamic Sky is a paid asset. In the tutorial, I will use it to quickly realize the ambient light and weather effects of the scene. Of course, you can also use other methods to build it. I have put the basic knowledge in my blog. If you don't know something about it, you can watch it. First, we will use a simple scene to introduce the basic knowledge of animation production. Let's create a new folder and name it Demo. Then click File, New Level. Create a basic level and click Create. Then name the new level and save it as a demo map. We can press Alt plus 3 or 4 keys to switch between unlit mode or lit mode. Hold down the right mouse button and then use the W or S or A or D key to move the viewport forward, backward, left and right, or use the E or Q key to raise or lower the viewport. Next, let's take a look at the basic operation method of actor in the level view. The so-called actor is part of the Unreal Engine gameplay framework. In today's tutorial, we will briefly understand that the models, lights, and other objects placed in the scene are all actors. First, find shapes under the Place Actor tab in the left column. Here are some preset basic geometry. We select a cube and drag it to the level editor. Click the left mouse button to select the cube, and then you can switch the operation mode to move or scale or rotate with the W or E or R key, or use the space key to switch the operation mode. Next, let's learn about Sequencer and Level Sequence. Sequencer is the editor of level sequence. There are two common ways to create level sequence. Click Add Level Sequence in the toolbar to add it, and then the editor will ask us to save the level sequence file. Let's save the new level sequence and name it Shot Test. After saving, the sequencer will be opened automatically. We will find that the new level sequence created in this way will be automatically added to the level, which becomes a level sequence actor. If we only want to render an animation without triggering it in the level, we can delete the level sequence actor in the level. Okay, let's create a level sequence in another way. Right-click in the content browser, select Level Sequence, name it, and save the file. Double-click to open the new level sequence. The new level sequence in this way will not be automatically added to the scene, but if necessary, we can also drag the level sequence file to the scene. Next, let's see how to use the sequencer to animate the actor in the scene. First, you need to add the actor to be animated to the sequencer. One way is to drag the actor directly from the outliner to the sequencer. After actor is added to the sequencer, some tracks of components will be automatically added. We can add or delete these tracks as needed. Select and press the delete key to delete the actor in the sequencer. We can also select actor in the scene and press the shortcut key, Ctrl and A, to add it to the sequencer. The actor in the sequencer has two common modes. Right-click Actor and select Convert. Select it Bind to, then select Spawnable Actor. There will be a lightning icon next to the spawnable actor. The so-called spawnable actor is the actor generated by the level sequence. When the level sequence is closed, the spawnable actor will disappear. On the contrary, we can also right-click a spawnable actor and select Convert Selected Bind to convert a spawnable actor to a possessable actor. Next, let's take a look at the basic operations of the sequencer. You can zoom the view of the timeline through Control and the mouse wheel. Right-click to pan the timeline view. Click the play key at the lower right corner of the sequencer to play the current animation, or press the space key to play or pause the animation. Drag the red line on the timeline to extend or shorten the duration or frame number of the animation. You can also move the cursor of the timeline to the desired position first, and then click the red button at the lower right corner of the sequencer to move the end frame of the animation to that position. Next, let's learn about keyframes. The working logic of animation production can be simply understood as adding keyframes to actor at appropriate locations in the timeline. For example, we want to make a simple animation for the cube in the scene, that is, to move it from the left to the right of the screen. First, move the cursor to frame 0 and then click the small diamond button next to transform. In this way, the transform data of the cube at this time is recorded at frame 0, and a small dot appears on the timeline at this time, which indicates that the keyframe is added successfully. Then we move the cursor to the last frame of the animation, place the cube in the appropriate position, and click the diamond button next to transform again to add a keyframe so that we can achieve a simple animation. We can also use the shortcut key Enter to quickly add keyframes. Another way to add keyframes is the automatic keyframe mode. Click the diamond key button to activate the automatic keyframe mode. The prerequisite for the editor to automatically add keyframes is that we manually add at least one keyframe to the track that needs keyframes. This design is to prevent the editor from adding keyframes to the track that is completely unnecessary. Then we just need to move the cube, and the editor can automatically record keyframes for us. Next, let's learn about Cine camera animation, which is also called camera animation. There is no essential difference between camera animation and cube animation. We select Cine camera actor from the Cine category in the left column and drag it to the scene. And then drag the Cine camera actor from the outliner to the sequencer. At this time, the sequencer will often automatically add a camera cuts track. We can understand this track as the film of the camera. Each camera cut will be bound to the only Cine camera actor to determine which camera content is written to this film. If the camera cuts track is not automatically added, we can also add the camera cuts track ourselves, and then manually bind a Cine camera actor. At the same time, Cine camera actor can also be set to spawnable or possessable according to the situation. Click the small camera icon on the right of each Cine camera actor to switch the view of the level editor to the pilot mode of the camera. At this time, we can move the viewport through the W or A or S or D shortcut keys described earlier and synchronize the camera to the current position. This pilot mode is very suitable for setting the camera position during animation production. When we click the small camera icon on the right of the Cine camera actor, again we can exit pilot mode. Okay, let's come to the Seoul City scene. I delete the ambient light in this scene in advance so that we can use Ultra Dynamic Sky to build the scene environment ourselves. Open the Ultra Dynamic Sky folder, find the Blueprints folder, and drag the Ultra Dynamic Sky blueprint into the scene. If the scene is in the unlit mode, don't forget to press the Alt and 4 key to switch back to the light mode. We can see the blue sky and white clouds in the scene instantly. And then find Ultra Dynamic Sky in the outline view, and then find time of day in its details panel. The value range of time of day is 0 to 2400, corresponding to the 24 hours of a day. We can realize the day and night light changes by adjusting the value of time of day. The function of Ultra Dynamic Sky is more than that. In the Blueprints folder, there is also an Ultra Dynamic Weather blueprint. We drag it to the scene. At this time, a light rain falls in the scene. Find Weather in the Details panel of Ultra Dynamic Weather. There are many preset common weather effects in the resource browse box on the right, such as fog, hot sun, rainstorm, etc. In this tutorial, I chose the lightning storm effect. Well, now it's time for our characters. The first character I use is Paragon Wraith. I drag the character's skeletal mesh into the scene and move it to a suitable position. When moving the viewport, I can set the moving speed of the viewport at the upper right corner of the viewport. Adjust the position and angle of the character. Okay, this position is about right. The next character is also from Paragon, which is called Revenant. Similarly, drag the skeletal mesh to an appropriate position in the scene and then adjust its angle. Okay, that's about it. Let's add some light to Wraith, symbolically. Find Point Light in Lights on the right sidebar. drag it to Wraith's side, and then adjust the light intensity and light color in its details panel. Okay. Next, let's make the first shot. First, let's take a look at its general effect. The camera is behind the character, moving from left to right, and the focus of the camera is on the opposite character, Revenant. We create a new folder in the content browser and name it Shots. And then create a level sequence and name it Shot 1. This is our first shot. Next, we add 2 characters to the sequencer. And then we can delete unnecessary tracks. Let's add skeletal animation to the 2 characters. Click the plus icon next to animation, and then select an appropriate animation in the content browser. I found an idle animation for Revenant. And a targeted idle animation for Wraith. Then we add a cine camera actor to the sequencer. I set it to the spawnable mode to keep the content in the scene as clean as possible, and then switch to its pilot mode to facilitate us to add keyframes to the camera on the timeline. Find it in the Details panel of the Cine Camera Actor Focus settings. We can set the focusing mode of the camera through the focus method. The default option is the manual focusing mode. We can use the nearby straw to select an actor in the scene to determine the focusing distance. We can also set the focus method to the tracking mode, that is, the auto-focusing mode. At this time, we can set an actor object for auto-focusing to achieve auto-tracking and focusing. Okay, after setting the focus mode, we will add keyframes to the camera. Click the small camera button next to camera cuts to preview the effect of this animation. Next, let's create our second shot. Let's first take a look at the effect. The second shot gives a close-up of Wraith from bottom to top. The camera focuses on Wraith. Let's create a new level sequence in the Shots folder and name it Shot 2. This time, we first add a cine camera actor to the sequencer. Set it to the spawnable mode. Then set its focus mode and focus. And then add Wraith to the sequencer, and then add appropriate skeletal animation to Wraith. This shot has nothing to do with Revenant, so we don't need to add it. Next, add keyframes to the camera. We can adjust the moving speed of the viewport to precisely move the position of the camera. Let's adjust the length of the animation. Adjust the position of the camera in the last frame. Okay, preview the effect. Not bad. The third shot, let's make a longer shot. Firstly, let's see the effect first. The camera moves from Wraith to Revenant. Then, take a close-up of the upper body of the Revenant, and the focus of the camera moves from Wraith to the Revenant. We create a new level sequence in the Shots folder and name it Shot 3. This time, we click the camera button in the sequencer, which is a quick way to add cameras. We see that the camera cuts track is also automatically added and automatically bound to the newly added cine camera actor. The cine camera actor here is also in spawnable mode. Add Wraith to sequencer and animate it. We should be familiar with this series of operations. Then there is revenant, the same routine. Next, animate the camera. We encountered a small problem. The focus position of the camera in this shot changes. This problem is not difficult to solve. We can freely control the focus of the camera with a custom object. I prepared a simple texture in advance as the mark of this focus. You can prepare a similar picture by yourself. 256 times 256 pixels will be okay. We create a new blueprint, right-click Blueprint class in the content browser, and then select Actor as its parent class. We name this Blueprint Focus. Double-click to open Focus. Click the Add button, add a billboard component. Set billboard as the texture we prepared before and adjust its size appropriately. We drag the focus blueprint to the scene, put it together with Wraith. Add focus to the sequencer and add a transform track to it. Then you can animate focus. Next, set the focus tracking target of the Cine camera actor to focus. I also want to add some details to this shot. For example, during the movement of the shot, I wanted to simulate the feeling of the photographer holding the lens so that it has a little jitter effect during the movement. At this time, we use camera shake. In the content browser, right-click to create a new blueprint. This time, we want to select camera shake base as the parent class and name it hand-holding shake. Double-click it to open it. Find camera shake pattern in class default, that is, camera shake pattern, and select Perling noise camera shake pattern, that is Berlin noise pattern. The parameters here are well understood, that is, the amplitude and frequency of shake in various dimensions. We can simply set them and adjust them later. Here is an important parameter that needs to be set, that is, the duration of jitter in timing. We need to set it long enough, and then use level sequence animation to determine its length. I set it to 10,000, back in the sequencer. Find the Cine camera actor, add a camera shake to it, and then select the hand-holding shake we just created to preview the effect. It seems that the dithering effect is not obvious. Let's increase the dithering frequency. This is much better. The fourth shot, let's see the effect first. This time, the movement of the lens is not large. I want to add a fast light to the Revenant's head. Still create a new level sequence in the Shots folder and name it Shot 4. This time, we click the camera button in the sequencer to add a camera. Add Revenant to the sequencer, set the camera's focus mode, animate Revenant, and then animate the camera. Next, we add a spotlight, that is a cone light. Set its intensity, color, and radius. And then add it to the sequencer and set it to the spawnable mode. Next, make a simple animation for spotlight. Since we have just been in the camera's pilot mode and have been on to automatically add keyframes, we accidentally added many frames to the camera when animating lights. So we turned off the camera's pilot mode and then deleted all the keyframes added by mistake. Next, we will animate spotlight. And adjust its moving track. Let's also increase its radius. Next, we combine the first 4 shots through a master shot. The so-called master shot is actually a level sequence. We still create a level sequence in the shots folder and name it master shot. Double-click to open it. Add a shot track, that is a shot track. And then click the small plus sign on the right to add the 4 shots you just made and adjust their positions. Don't forget to match the duration of the master shot with the total duration of the 4 subshots. Play it to see the effect. The transition between shot and shot 4 is a bit abrupt. Let's go back to shot 4 and fine-tune it. Go back to master shot to see the effect. This time it's much better. Next, I want to add some stylized visual effects to the film. That is, some filters. Colorama, mentioned at the beginning of the tutorial, is a set of free LUT assets. Every picture here is a LUT, and you can also make your own filter. There are many related tutorials online, so I won't introduce it in this tutorial. Open each level sequence to find the camera. Then search for LUT on its details panel. Enable the color grading LUT, and then find the filter you like in the resource box on the right. Here I choose the filter named NG. We see that the image style changes instantly after adding the filter. Next, other subshots are processed in the same way. Then I want to add a fade in and fade out transition effect between each subshot of the master shot. Open the master shot and add a fade track. The value of this fade track is between 0 and 1. 0 means no effect, and 1 means the screen is completely black. Next, we can add keyframes at the joint of subshots. Run it to see the effect. The part of the split shot connection has a transition effect. Finally, we want to render and output the whole movie. Here, we use the Movie Render Queue plugin of the Unreal Engine 5. The button on the storyboard at the top left of the sequencer is the open button of the Movie Render Queue. If your sequencer does not have this button, it means that your Movie Render Queue plugin is not activated. Then, search the Movie Render Queue in Edit and Plugins, find and open the plugin, and restart the editor to use it. Click to open the Movie Render Queue. By default, it will add the currently opened level sequence to the rendering list. We can also add or delete the level sequence in the rendering list ourselves. Here, we directly render the master shot. Click the Config button next to it, and the rendered parameter configuration window will pop up. In order not to set it every time, we can name and save the current parameter configuration for future use. Here, I name and save it as render config. First, let's take a look at the contents under exports. Here, by default, the rendering output is in the form of JPG sequence. The mode of rendering output can be determined according to your later workflow. Here, we set the format of rendering output to MP4. The following contents of rendering are options related to the rendering method algorithm. The content in output is mainly the output path and resolution. Here, we set the resolution to 3840 times 2160, which is 4K. Then click Render Local, and the next step is the rendering and output process. After rendering, open our project folder, Find the saved movie renders folder, double-click to open it, and you can see the master shot MP4 file. This is our learning achievement today. Have you learned it? Thank you for watching. See you next time.